it's going to leave people in suspense. I mean, it is good. It is disclosure at a level where people are going to be totally in suspense. You know, they're going to want to know how it all got to that point and why we are now where we're at. So it's going to totally make sense. So it's going to be beautiful.
That's absolutely brilliant to hear. And I know before, we go into this. I mean, one of the reasons I'm having these conversations with you is because I love sharing empowering information that help people make the best decisions. And, we've all got the opportunity to reach our full potential, and it's up to us to what we decide to do with it. So by having conversations with Ishmael and people like you who've got so many tools, techniques, and informations to share with people, I think opens up a lot of choices for people. Before we dive in, I just wanted to read something from your preface, if this is all right, which I think sets the scene really nicely. Is that okay?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So in the preface of this brilliant book that you can get on Amazon, Our Cosmic Origin, Ishmael says, "This is the spiritual knowledge of the ageless wisdom that is awakening mankind into a higher purpose and meaning of life. It unveils the information we need in preparation for the manifestation of a new heaven on earth." And the reason I wanted to mention that to people and just show you what you can expect from this book and the interviews that you'll see from Ishmael on my channel and everywhere else is because I think it's really important, Ishmael, that people realize how much power they've got over their own life.
Yeah, indeed. That is one of the, I guess, primary reasons why I wrote that book, is to remind people of their own divinity and really how powerful we are as spiritual beings, as multidimensional beings.
Yeah.
So,
Now, before we dive into our subjects for today, I wondered if you could start us off by sharing your top 3 tips for keeping centered and at peace, because obviously we take our energy. I've been talking about this a lot over the last couple of weeks. We take our energy with us everywhere. And I must say, I've watched a lot of your interviews and you always stay very centered. You give out a feeling of peace and confidence. So for people that are struggling with some of the subjects that we're going to be talking about today, about a lot of the fear born out there, what are some of your top tips, Ishmael, for not falling for that and really staying in a peaceful state?
turn off your television, your radio, and listen to no news. That's the first thing you want to do. And if you have social media and you're connected with people that are posting fear-based stuff, perhaps they are not aligned with your purpose, because the whole purpose of that is to knock us out of our focus, to keep us, they want to distract us. And so the best thing to do is disassociate with those that are still in that lower frequency mentality of fear-based awareness, and just remember that we didn't come to this earth to see it all blown away in a nuclear war. We came to this earth to witness and to be a part of a transformation that is going to lead into a new heaven on earth, and we are the forerunners of that. So just remember that, to stay centered. Don't listen to any misinformation or false information, and ultimately, the white hats are in control. Even what happened with the destruction of the Russian pipelines, that was all orchestrated. It's all part of a greater agenda that is going to be in favor of humanity in the end. And so the best thing to do is just stay grounded, and just understand that there is a plan that is unfolding, and keep your focus on the things that you want. Keep your focus on what your version or your interpretation of what heaven on earth is like, and just put all your energy and attention to the things that you want to manifest, because that is you being in your power. When you give your power away is when you are no longer putting your attention and focus on the things that you want to create. So just remember that, we are all co-creating our collective reality, and our individual reality through our thoughts, through our emotions. So it is up to you to allow what's gonna, uh, rent space in your head. I guess that's the best way to do it. Be in control of your mind at all times.
Yeah, because I think, a lot of people who watch are very well aware that we all are run by our subconscious mind. until we become aware of it. So we've all got programs that we've received since before we were born that are running through our subconscious mind. But once you have an awareness of that, then you have a conscious choice to recognize when those programs are kicking in, don't you, and do something about it.
Indeed. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So let's talk about the, I'm being quite careful with how many times we say certain words, but let's talk about the pipeline that has got leaks, that is supplying energy sources to Europe from a place that begins with R. So what do you know about that? What information have you got? What are your thoughts on that, and why that's happening?
It was the global deep state's last effort, and their attempt in holding on to their power. Because once we took out the head of the snake 2 weeks ago, they were all kind of like in they were all like running, like a chicken without a head. They were all just in how can I say it? They were all fearing, because they know that their time is up. So that was their last effort to try to prevent the White Hats and the Alliance from completely dismantling, the NWO and the globalist agenda. And so the White Hats are seeing that as an opportunity to give Trump the ability to negotiate. Even though he's not sitting in the White House, he still has influence. He still has authority. It's not real. Mr. P from Russia works under the direction of the Alliance and the Galactic Federation of the Galactic Alliance, and he is not gonna, he's not gonna press the red button. He's not gonna do that. So everything is under control now. It's not gonna happen the way people think it's gonna happen. In fact, what we are getting ready to see unfold, if anything, is the rollout of the new financial system. And so that's why they did that. That's why they blew up those pipelines, because that was their last effort. But now they're running around scared, because they know that they have no other there is no other plans. They have no other, it's no plan B or plan C anymore. All their endeavors have been checkmated, in other words.
So let's talk about the financial side of things, because there's so much fear porn going on at the moment. And I do really sympathise with people, because they've been told over the last 3 years, do your own research, find out what's really going on, be aware of the lies that we've been told in all areas of our life. But of course, the more you dig down the rabbit hole, the more you discover, and the more it can trigger these fear states for people. So it's a fine balance, isn't it, Ishmael, about people finding out information in enough detail that serves them without then staying there in that mindset that makes them feel out of control and even more fearful. How do you manage that?
Through meditation and grounding every morning. And this is something I said in a prior interview, that the best thing to do is, upon waking up every morning, is be grateful, give thanks, ground yourself, center yourself, and set the intention for the day. And shield yourself, in a blue sphere of, I always call it a white bubble, but then I also use the blue one because it represents the blue sword of Michael, the archangel. And I always invoke the presence of my guides and my ancestors. And I go on with my day because, I am aware that ever since I came into the limelight, I've had a lot of people that are attacking me spiritually, like psychic warfare. And the only reason why they haven't been successful in their witch attacks against me, right, their sorcery, is because of my protection. I'm very well grounded, and I have a lot of protection around me at all times. And that is the reason why the haters or the people that are trying to send me some psychic attacks are failing, because I do this thing every morning, and I think everyone should too. That's our only way to protect ourselves, not just physically, but psychically, emotionally, and spiritually from those that are trying to attack us.
It's such an important point that you've raised there, and I think something that will resonate with everyone, because there's conscious attacks that get thrown out at people, and also people projecting their own fear that then particularly empaths can really pick up on and absorb and take on. So those protection, and one of the things you're really, really good at is your focus and your routine. And one of the things that I've been covering a lot on my channel is the fact that, health, wellness, spiritual awareness, all this stuff, balance, it's not something you achieve and you take off and then you don't have to ever do anything. It's the daily practices that count, isn't it, Ishmael?
Yes, absolutely. It's what you do on a day-to-day basis. It's where your state of mind is, where your focus is. So that's why it's important to be aware and mindful of your focus every second of the day.
Yeah.
Very important to do so.
And don't worry when you slip off the bandwagon and you react in ways you don't want to and things. It's fine so long as you recognise it and course correct, isn't it? So it's not about beating yourself up and expecting us to all be walking angels. You're allowed to be human. That we've chosen to be here at this time, but also recognising that the more we develop these tools and techniques to control our emotions, the easier and more rewarding our lives are going to be.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So, with a lot of the fear porn that's going on, the other thing that I've had so many questions about for our talk today in general is the financial situation. So, there's so many people in, let's call it the disclosure community, that are really pushing people to take their money out of the banks, to buy gold and silver, buy crypto. There's all this fear around the financial situation. And of course, that is quite fearful for a lot of people because a lot of people don't have any money sitting there anyway to take out. So, it's raising all these different emotions in people. Have you got any information or advice for people who are worrying about the financial side of things?
Yeah, don't worry about anything. Yes, the banks are going to become insolvent, they're going to be outdated. But as we transfer over to the new system, the QFS system, we're all going to be the trillions of dollars that the old guard has been holding from us for thousands of years is all going to be redistributed to everyone.
Mm.
So it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor right now. What matters is that when this new financial system is rolled out, everyone is going to have everything in an abundance, and there will be no more poor. There will be no more homelessness. No more caste of rich and halves and half-nots. All that stuff is part of the old guard, and this new system is going to impact every human on the planet in a positive way. So, stop fearing, stop feeling the fear porn. If you feel like you want to take your money out, your IRA, your whatever savings or trusts that you've been holding, um, 401k plans, all that stuff. That's just fear porn. It's all going to be converted to the new universal digits of financial abundance when the new system rolls out. So it's not going to matter if whether you have $100 million in the bank or if you only have $10 in the bank. After the new system rolls out, guess what? We're all going to have everything in insufficient amounts. We're all going to be rich.
It's an interesting phenomenon, isn't it? That somehow, that's why I read your part of your preface for your book. In one respect, we're on this journey of discovery because we want to be the best versions of ourselves, really living in heaven on earth and achieve what we all as individuals want to achieve, which will be different for all of us. But at the same time, it's been a really worrying trend that I've seen, that a lot of the people who are really putting a lot of effort into trying to find out about all the lies we've been told are the ones that are in the highest state of fear, because a lot of people that haven't got a clue about anything that we're talking about, they're not sitting there worried about their financials collapse. They're not sitting there worried about a lot of these things. So it's a little bit concerning. Have you got any idea why that's happening?
Because are you talking about the people that are just not feeding into the fear porn?
Well, it's funny enough, is a lot of the people that aren't following, the truth of community, the disclosure side of things, they're completely unaware of a lot of these things. So they're not in the same level of fear as a lot of the people that are that think they're aware of what's going on. So there's got to be some sort of infiltration there to be
Mhm.
pushing all these people into panicking about their finances, panicking about what's going to happen with the fuel shortages, etc.
Yeah, that's just again, it's all part of it's just a show right now. It's just a fictitious show. I suggest that nobody worries at this time. Um, things are going to get better. Things are going to get better. There's going to be no force.
Yeah.
The whole plan was Agenda 2021 was to bring forth. I mean, if technically speaking, the original plan for the globalists was to roll out their globalist fascist state by 2000, by the year 2000. And the White Hats pushed it off, right? And then they try to, their goal was then 2020, 2021. And now they're saying 2024. So it's like they keep, it's like the White Hats keep throwing monkey wrenches in their plans. But now they ran out of resources. They ran out of plans because they have nothing anymore. And even the advanced alien technology that they possessed, as far as like weather modification systems and all that stuff, that's all been taken from them. That's all been taken from them. The White Hats they're in full control now. The White Hats have been given technology by the Galactics that is by far more superior than any of the tech that has been used by the military industrial complex and the shadow government. And it's just a matter of time now before we see this huge revelation, which is the true meaning of the terminology apocalypse. It's nothing to do with the end of the world. It has to do with a huge intel drop of what's really been going on a mass scale, where it causes a huge awakening. And that's what the prophecies talked about. They talk about a revelation to humanity by the good people of the earth.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're going to be expecting any day.
Exactly. Now, do you think, Ishmael, there's a lot of talk, people are getting very, very hung up on whether it's 3D, 4D, 5D. Is that a little bit of a distraction for people at the moment? Because in my view, just my simplistic view of it, is so long as you're concentrating on being in the present moment, if we all accept we've chosen to be here, then let's enjoy it. Let's not be wishing our lives away, waiting for something else to happen. Enjoying the here and now. And whether you're, the 3D, 4D, 5D things, people are shifting up and down all the time, aren't they? It's not an absolute.
Exactly, yeah. Right now, as a collective, we're already in the 4D, by the way. And if people are doing the work, some of them might even be able to go into the 5D by the end of this year. So it's the grid system, the grid pattern that supports 4D reality and 5D reality is already in place. It's just a matter of us shifting our vibrational frequency to match that of the new structure. So as a collective, we're already in the 4D, and that explains why things are now going to be coming to light. Things are going to be transparent. All the deception, all the lies are going to all be exposed because of the fact that we are now in the 4D.
Yeah, absolutely. So going through some of the user questions now, because I'm keeping an eye on the time. Are you expecting the internet to go down?
Yes, because we're going to shift from the DARPA internet, which is AI, to one that is neutral and one that is uncorrupted, that is working with the Alliance. Yeah. And that's going to explain the new satellite systems. That's going to I guess everything's going to change, but we are going to have like at least 10 days of darkness, symbolically meaning like no internet usage, no cell phone usage, unless you have the Signal app. I think that the only app that's going to work is Signal. So I suggest everybody download the Signal app, because that's the only way we're going to be able to communicate with each other when the shutdown takes place.
Mm. And, sometimes these forced removals from that is the perfect time, because we talk about go inwards and really sort of go inwards. And sometimes if we can't remove the distractions from ourselves, it's really useful for someone else to remove those distractions for us. So it can be a good thing, can't it?
Yeah, I agree. Now, another thing I wanted to mention is that I've actually received some intel that the culprit behind the Mark of the Beast has a lot to do with the return of Enki 2 years ago, because he came right before they rolled out the medicine.
Yeah.
And when I watched, I'm not going to mention her name, but when I watched her interview about how this person met Enki and they had a conversation, and she was pretty much spilling the beans that he came to change our genetics. So she pretty much spilled the beans. And when she mentioned that, it just made perfect sense, because
so when in the higher dimensions, people get swayed into evil ways of doing things almost with hands, they're picked up a lot quicker. Is that the case?
Say that again.
Well, sort of when you have people, because I noticed there was also problems with the Galactic Federation and things. When you've got people that go against, the overall good, the idea is that there's systems in place there to catch them and stop them a lot
Oh
easier.
yes, of
Yeah,
course, yes. There's always higher intelligences that operate even beyond the Galactic Federation that are monitoring things, to the T.
yeah,
So that's the reason why, and most people that are part of the Galactic Federation, most of the races out there are actually telepathic, so they could also sense things on a, intuitive level.
yeah.
But Ankley had a cloaking device. He was given some advanced AI technology by his superior, the AI lord, whatever you want to call him, to trick, the people of the Earth and stuff, and to try to infiltrate the Federation without their detection. But the beings that are existing in dimensions 9, 10, sorry, 8, 9, and 10 were able to capture that and were able to see it before it happened. And so that's why they were able to reorganize it as the Galactic Alliance. And what I meant by that is that all they did was just they just had a changeover of all their security and piloting systems, so that Enki wouldn't be successful in using, Pleiadian galactic DNA among other galactic DNA that he was extracting and harvesting from certain women that he abducted and stuff that consented to his abductions. So yeah, he failed. But he's still, the culprit behind the medicine.
Yeah.
He works very intimately and closely with big tech here on the planet, because his son Marduk was taken out. That's why he returned, because he said, okay, so my son Marduk, who is bald Satan, Belial, he goes by name, the Babylonian god, chief god, right, the ruler of the Cabal, because he was taken out years ago. He thought it was in his interest to come and finish off the job, and he can't, because we do have special protection beyond the galactic forces. But yeah, he was the culprit behind the medicine program, and he actually works with the big gates, and of course, um, Doctor Doom, and the rest of them. They all work with him.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so the other big question, very, very controversial. And, again, what I'm asking people to do for this, or just use your own intuition. You take what resonates for you. So from the start of our conversation, it's all about us using our own discernment and taking information that lifts our vibration. And if it's not serving you, then don't take it. But obviously, in terms of the mark of the beast, there's a lot of controversy over that. And a lot of people have been asking, but also from my own perspective, if we're saying that people that have voluntarily taken that, even if they thought they were doing it for the good of others, for the good of other people, the reality is long before this current mark of the beast, they've been doing a lot to poison people in lots of different ways and shut down the function of their pineal gland to stop people's intuition and things. And I've heard you talk about that before. So for me, if it's just based on that decision as whether they've taken the mark of the beast, that's like a lot of the religious propaganda where people say you can't go to heaven if you don't believe in Jesus. So is it really as simple, in my opinion, I'm hoping, that, if you're a good person and your intent's good, that you'll be fine. And if you're not, then you won't be. That this is the mark of the beast isn't the deciding factor.
No, it's not. Especially if they were just deceived. Even if they were deceived or cursed, it's not
Yeah.
their fault. And they actually um they actually begin to understand that it is wrong, so they don't do the second or the third booster. I think most of them just did the second booster. But the people that are getting the third booster and the fourth booster and the fifth booster, those are the ones that are not going to be ascending, because they're totally giving in to the beast. They're giving away their soul pretty much to become cybernetic in the long run. But to their unknowing, of course. But again, it's all choice.
Yeah.
And those that got the initial two shots, they're going to be okay. It's just, I just feel sorry for those that got the third, fourth, and fifth. I mean, they
There's a
don't know
lot
what
of
they're
people,
doing.
particularly the elderly people, have been very coerced into it because they've been brainwashed by their doctors to be told that, they needed to. But, if we all believe we're on a soul journey and we've all chosen to come down here, and anyone who's on the planet at the moment has got a special mission, then that applies to everyone, doesn't it? So,
Yeah, but for the most part, most are going to be spared when the solar flash takes place, because the light of the solar flash is going to be so powerful that it's going to nuke all the stuff in their body. It's going to just completely evaporate it.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'd really like people to, at the end of the day, the simple saying, if there's something you can change, when people go into worry state, and I am a natural worrier, so I've had to work really hard over the years to put these processes, tools, and techniques into place to stop myself slipping into a worry vibration. But if you are still worried about family members, if it's not something you can change, just concentrate, as Ishmael and I've been saying, about what you do want to happen, and all will be well. Honestly, I promise you. We've got a lot of questions about the relationship between the sun and the solar flash, and if the sun is not giving off heat, what form is the energy coming into the terms of the solar flash?
It gives off light, photons. When it hits our atmosphere, it translates as heat. But beyond our atmosphere, it's not hot. That's just the biggest furor. In fact, there are civilizations that exist within the sun, that exist in the seventh, eighth, and ninth dimension. And these are civilizations that no longer use carbon-based DNA nor crystalline-based DNA. They use what is called hydroplasma DNA.
Yeah.
And that's why they're allowed to exist in these laborious, beautiful diamond-shaped cities and structures that exist within the sun. So they're assisting us too. Those are civilizations. The civilizations that exist inside stars are of a type 4. A type 4 status. There's a total of five categories of advanced civilizations, and so the people that exist within the sun are of a type 4, which is millions and millions of years ahead of us.
Yeah. Now, I've heard you do some really brilliant talks about the different types of DNA, and we haven't got time to go into that all today. So I will. I heard you with a lovely Australian lady the other day going into that, so I'll put the link to that video below this. But one of the things I thought was really fascinating, could really help people, is you were saying about using your imagination a lot, because going back to the fact that we're all controlled a lot by our subconscious mind and the programming that's been put into us from outside forces throughout our lives there, reactivating this belief, the activating your imagination and your belief systems that you can heal yourself. Can you talk through a few tips on that for people?
Yeah, learn how to first you have to learn how to meditate so you can be in control of your thoughts. Once you're in control of your thoughts, then you could use your own imagination and your own internal talk to communicate with any body part, cells. And when you do that, you begin the healing process. You begin to you begin to do what is known as gene regulation with your own mind. And there's this doctor who
Bruce
actually,
Lipton, biology
yeah,
of belief. Yeah.
yeah, Bruce Lipton and Dr. Joe Dispenza, brilliant neuroscientists. But they both are the ones that are pioneering this new way of epigenetic, they call it epigenetics, this new way of gene regulating through our own mind by, talking and communicating with our mind. And I think it's done a lot effective. It's more effective when you bridge or when you synchronize your mind with your heart. They say that the heart is also a mind or a brain, and it's got its own, neurons are called neurites.
Yeah.
And when you are heart and mind connected, when you're synchronized with your heart and your mind, you could actually begin the healing process of your body a lot better. And we all have that ability, but like you said, we've been subconsciously programmed to think that we need external medicine to do so, when in reality, everybody has the power to heal themselves if they learn how to align their heart with their mind in a coherent form, right? That's what they call it, heart-mind coherence.
Yeah.
Proven through many scientific research and testing that they've conducted at the Heart Math Institute.
That's
So
right.
the science is there. The science is solid. It's been proven. It's just a matter of reprogramming your mind, rewiring your mind, and do it.
I'm seeing Greg Braden in London this weekend, actually, so I'm really looking forward to that. And it's not an accident, everyone, that Bruce Lipton's book is called The Biology of Belief. So the key there is the belief, because our thoughts and our emotions are the activators for this hidden potential between every one of us that we have right here, right now. And I would really encourage people to just enjoy developing these new skills in themselves. I mean, you've been doing it for years, haven't you? slip out of that state. And I've been around enough people to know that it takes a lot of work to get to that stage. So yeah, thank you for sharing all your tools and tips. So we're going to finish off. Ishmael's going to do a little meditation to finish us off, and I think that will be really beneficial for everyone. So before we go into that, is there anything else you wanted to cover before we finish off with that, Ishmael?
Yes, love yourself. You know, self-love is the beginning of even loving others. How can you love others if you can't love yourself? Treat yourself right. See yourself as God in embodiment, you know, and see the God in everyone, in every living thing, including animals and creatures, plants, insects. You know, God is in everything. Um, yeah, so just learn how to love yourself and accept yourself for who you are. Be authentic, always. Never change for anybody. Yeah.
Really, really great advice. Right, thank you. We'll now do a little meditation to finish.
Okay. So in this meditation, the whole purpose of this meditation is to fast forward and speed up the process in the establishment of a heaven on earth. So we're going to start by closing our eyes and taking a couple of deep breaths by inhaling through our nose. And we hold it for 2 seconds, and when we exhale through our mouth, let's do one more. So now I would like for you guys to send love to all your body parts, every organ, every tissue, every molecule, every cell, all trillions of your cells. Send love and appreciation to your body. Your body is your vehicle. It's your expression down here in this dimension. It is an extension of your spirit. It is your temple. And so feel the love and appreciation for every part of your body, all the way down to your cells. As you're breathing. Now I would like you to extend the love and appreciation to everyone in your community, every single person, family and friends, colleagues, associates, every single person in your town, in your city, in your state, in your province, in your country. And send love to every individual, even people you don't know. Just send love to everybody in your country. Now, extend that to the entire globe. As you're breathing in slowly, inhaling through your nose, hold it, and you exhale through your mouth. Send love and appreciation to everyone on planet Earth, every single being out there. Even the wicked, send love to the wicked, for they do not know what they do, because they're also programmed. You do that for a few more seconds. We're sending love and healing energy to the whole planet Earth. And now we're going to extend that appreciation and sending of love to the entire solar system, every single planet. Shower it with love and appreciation. Our sun, Helios, Solaris. Send love to our sun, because without the rays, without the nourishment that comes from our sun, there would be no life here. Send love and appreciation to the sun, which is also an extension of you, just like the earth is. Now extend that love and appreciation to the entire galaxy, Milky Way, where it is comprised of a community of trillions of souls, all our star brothers and sisters, the galactics, the stellar communities that exist out there. Send love and appreciation to the galactic community, to the entire galaxy and the stars. Give thanks for all the help for assisting us from behind the scenes. Thank you, Milky. Thank you, Milky, for all that you do. And now we extend the love and appreciation to the entire universe, all the galaxies, all the beings. Give love and thanks to everything space.